Welcome to tkSPORTS, a TV that brings you all the sports actions happening within South Sudan and across the country. Today, we've paid a visit to the Kickboxing Federation at the Nimratalata Youth Center, where these young boys and girls do what they do best. My name is Kelly Abale. Thanks for joining us. Well, thank you so much for joining tkSPORTS. It is your home of sports in South Sudan. Today, we paid a courtesy visit to the Nimratalata Youth Center, where the Kickboxing Federation always conducts its trainings. And of course, as you watched, we showed you a couple of the skills that the South Sudanese kickboxers have under the watchful eyes of Coach Puro Okello. Now, he joins me to talk about kickboxing in South Sudan. He's one guy who has inspired a lot of youth. He's a former kickboxing champion. He started it, of course, in Ethiopia. He went to Canada. He has moved to countries like Libya and many other countries on the continent of Africa with the skills. He's come back home. He's done his best to try and impart those skills onto the youth within the country. Let's take this time and talk to Coach Puro Okello about kickboxing. Coach, thanks for giving us your time at tkSPORTS TV. This is a new TV in the country. Of course, we are here to promote sports. First of all, tell us more about yourself.
Thank you, Kelly Abale, and thanks to the TK. Why don't we make a TKO? That would be really suitable for us as a kickboxers, MMA, and Muay Thai fighters. I guess you already did all the introduction that I need to know. Full name is Puro Okello. Naturally, the first and the only, the father of African kickboxing. You know, the foundation of kickboxing in Africa is me who brought it. And I have the privilege to train people in Ethiopia, like you said, Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, formerly. Of course, the history goes back when I was in Canada as a fighter, thinking of what can I do next. So I managed to come back to Africa and promote the sport as a full contact father.
Coach, we've seen you struggling to make the boys and the girls do what you're best at doing. And people might not know why you decided to come back home. You should have stayed in Canada. But why did you take the time to come back home and give these young boys and girls the skills that you have?
Well, in life, there are two things people look for. One is to get rich, live happy, or maybe you're not happy, miserable, or really give back to your community. And I decided I need to give back rather than just getting rich, filthy, stay in Canada, drive the best car, live a better life. I'm still a Canadian citizen. I can go anytime. But, when I was growing up, I did karate. I'm a third-degree black belt in karate, which I never did have or had a role model, someone who I can look up to. And then now I become that person who can really make a difference to our young people's life. So this is why I decided I need to come back to Africa. Africa needed to be built, and it is only African who can build Africa. So I started with my step in kickboxing, mixed martial arts. This is in '97. Imagine now in Africa, all the 54 countries, or the 55 now, they all have best kickboxing federation and also kickboxing champions. So that's the great development right there. And also my first goal is to develop the community. South Sudan, we've been going through a lot of tough time, rough life and wars and all. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 generations really wasted in the war. So the best thing is to bring sport, the great unification for the young people, to overcome the tribal line, to overcome the problems, a stressful life, and also for them to say, look, I have life. I think I can be a better champion. And that shows a lot.
Well, since you came back and started this initiative of kickboxing in the country. What have been the challenges that you have gone through to this stage now?
Well, Kela Bali, I think you are very aware, at almost every step I've been going through. One, we don't have the right corporate companies, people with the good corporate companies who can give back to maybe say social development or social building responsibilities. Two, the government is not putting all the end and the emphasis to the sports. It's lacking behind. We're trying our best. Number three, normal citizen, sport lovers. You don't find anyone come to this center every day and say, look, coach, I want you to maybe just, fill up the drums for the young guys. So these are the challenges that we've been going through. And it is the education that we wanted to do. First of all, we want to make sure the young people have a better life, better future to think for, and also aspiration for them. We need to inspire them, because without aspirations, young people today, they sit everywhere, they are adult. The sport is the greater development. Talk of building communities. This is what center can do. Of course, difficulties are there. Financial. I just came from Cairo not long ago, and I was contesting for the Congress of the African Kickboxing office. And of course, to be there, you have to have good resources. So this is not just a simple thing. Resources is a major setback for the South Sudan at any field for sport development. But I think we can overcome all this.
We have seen you traverse the continent. We've seen you taking fighters to Ethiopia. You've taken fighters to Egypt, like recently when you went with David Majok. We've seen you take fighters to Uganda, Kenya. And you say there are no financial resources and support financially. Someone would be asking questions out there. Where does Puro Okello get all these funds that he uses to transport himself and the fighters to the different parts of the continent?
Thank you. The minute I came back to Juba, I never sat idle. I have been giving workshops, seminars, kickboxing classes, private classes in some hotels, NGOs, non-governmental workers, and these are the people who are supporting me. I don't sit and wait for anybody to give me, but I always exchange. In return, I give people services. In return, I get some cash, and that's how I manage to manage myself. Pay back to the gym here. I fill up my water, make sure the guy's having shower. And this is how I survive.
And what does it take for one to join this club of kickboxing in the country? Do these fighters who are training behind us pay some registration fee, or it is free to join? Because I want to be part of it soon.
Nice. Well, I have two memberships here in the club. I have a normal membership where it's for the whole, everybody can come and join. You register with 2,000 South Sudanese pound. Every month you pay 2,000, and that's just to maintain the water. But again, this registration is just courtesy. It's not like you have to pay. This is just a courtesy, so we make sure you maintain yourself, and also you think you are paying something, but in return you actually train hard and say, yeah, I am a member of this club. Number two is the private classes, which like I told you earlier, I teach people privately in this gym, outside this gym, in some hotels and different gymnasiums. And these are the people now I maintain myself and maintain the premises where I can get some water, get some money in case I want to travel, in case someone gets sick, in case anything that can arise.
What is next for kickboxing? I remember last year you had a fight between David Majok and Uganda's famous Golola Moses, James Majok, where he beat Golola Moses, and I'm meant to understand there is going to be a rematch in Kampala. But before that rematch, which is I think on the 26th of December, what is your plan as the Kickboxing Federation for the boys and girls who are behind us training before the year ends?
Well, we have a few events lining up. The first one will be December 5 here at Nyakuran. We have a Belarusian actually going to take on Monica Kelly, our South Sudan Kickboxing female champion. Belarusian, she's a very good fighter. They're going to do a very nice show. All these guys will have a nice fight. We'll have a K1 Kickboxing Championship. It started at 3 o'clock, so everybody need to be there at 3, because when we say 3 is 3, for us we don't turn back the clock. And we don't wait to say this is Sudan local time or South Sudan local time. No, 3 is 3 and everybody has to be there ahead of time. That's the schedule for December 5. And the second one, like you said, will be the December 26th return of James Majok with Golola in Kampala. And instead of Boxing Day, they want to make it a Kickboxing Day. Then for February, I have a big show. Golola Talent Academy will be bringing his team with South Sudanese. We're going to call it the Intercity number 3 because we did not do the Intercity number 3 yet. We're going to do that, the Intercity Championship. And then there's another event in Ethiopia lining up, but because of now there is a state of emergency in Ethiopia, we cannot go there. There would to be a Muay Thai championship, which I have the belt already. One of our boy, Eddie, was supposed to take on another Ethiopian. Also one of our boy, James Majok, to take another Ethiopian. And Sudani to take on a Kenyan. So, but now tentatively that will be put off, and which means we're going to move it to Juba. And I'm going to work very hard to see what I need to do to secure some resources to do the championship, because it's a big title.
As we wind up, what would be your message to the people who are watching you on tkSPORTS in regards to promoting kickboxing in South Sudan?
Wonderful. This is a great opportunity. First of all, to say this is a big development. We have now a sport television like any other countries, SPN, Fight Network, and maybe One Network. But we have our own now, we can call our sport network. I want people to follow sports in general, and I want them to love sport, because sport is the only venue, the easiest to promote the image of this country outside. And I want to see some corporate company really coming forward, not only supporting the sport, but they can also support the network itself. Without sponsors, I don't think you're going to last. So we will need all the support from all our viewers and sport lovers, private and corporate companies to come forward. The government, one thing I need to put to the government here is your message to people come direct through sport. So they need to get involved directly. That's the only way for them and the generation that lying aside here to be connected. So I believe they can also shift in and get all the resources needed. We are so rich. This country is very rich. If we put our hand and our heart together, we can do very miracle things. And I think the opportunity is ours. With the little population we have, we can move further.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Puro Okello, for joining me this afternoon to discuss about kickboxing. To you who is watching tkSPORTS at this particular time, sports is the only thing that can unite this country. I don't think there is anything that we can do to unite this country other than putting our efforts and funds in supporting these young boys and girls who are striving so hard to promote the image of this country through sports. Yours truly, Kelly Abali, of course, hosting it right this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Have the best of your time.